welcome to class. I'm Temi. I'm the creative director of TCG Fashions. Okay, so today I want to show you how to use your tabletop machine. In the previous classes, I've taught the class how to use the blackhead machine, the functions, the parts, and how to work with it. So in this class, I realized that some people don't use that kind of machine. In Nigeria here, we generally use that type or the regular industrial. Sometimes we use this one too, but people in diaspora, this tabletop is quite common over there. So let me just use this to explain some few things to the class. I mentioned earlier that the parts look similar, the placements are similar, just a little difference, just very little, but the principles of operating a sewing machine is the same. The principles are the same. Whether you are using a blackhead, you are using brother, or even industrial. So far you understand where the thread needs to enter before it enters the next place. You can actually thread any kind of sewing machine, yes. Okay, so let's just get started. All right, so this is this type is quite smaller than the regular tabletop that most people use for commercial sewing, but I can still use this to explain. We have different types actually, but the type that if you buy single series or brother series, this particular J series brother that I recommend for my students to get. It's very easy to use and it's durable to a great extent. They didn't pay me for advert, but at least people that have been using it have not been complaining. So better buy the ones that are good. Single products, brother products, they are quite okay. So ideally, this for this machine is a little bit smaller than the regular size. Assuming it is the single type, this part is usually longer. And from the previous classes, what did I call this one? I called it spool pin. It's a pin, and the essence is to hold your thread. But this machine comes with a smaller thread holder. You might need to roll thread on that one to put here so that it doesn't fall off. Because if I put this one on here, if I start working, it will fall off. Okay, so this one, check for it on your own machine. It's called spool pin, and the function is to hold the thread. Okay, so this is thread guide. I want to believe you cannot see, or should we move the camera closer a bit too? So this, okay, I think this is called the thread guide. This tiny thing here. So when the thread, let's assume that I put the thread on here, so the thread will enter here. The function is to guide the thread on its way to the needle. Okay, the light is, let me try and put it. And as much as possible, avoid putting thread in your mouth. There are so many germs that you can't see. It falls on the floor, all manner of things fall on it. So avoid putting your thread in your mouth, and that's also a two-edged sword. There's person, even me, your teacher. Okay, so now the thread guard has entered. The thread has entered into the thread guard. So the next thing to do, this is also a tension disc, but it's quite different from the way the blackhead machine looks. So the function is to control the pressure of the thread on its way to the needle. So after you put your thread, did you see what I did? It came from here. I pushed it, I forcefully pushed it into this is also a disc, but it's just smaller. There are two discs here, so in between the two discs is where you put your thread. So after putting the thread in the tension disc, I'll bring it up into the take-up lever. We call this take-up lever. By the time you release the fly, it goes up and down. So it feeds the thread into the needle. Where the thread is going is the needle. So all this journey is to ensure that the thread gets to the needle at the right thickness, the right pressure, and everything is just perfect. That way you have a good stage. So you take it into the take-up lever this way. So I'm telling you the names of the parts and I'm telling you their functions alongside. The light is entering my eye. Let me try. Okay, we shall get it done. Sorry, my My camera has lights so that you guys can see what I'm doing, and it's directly entering my eye, so that way I can see it properly. So it has entered the take-up level. Then after that, it will go back into this thread guard. I told us that we can have as many as possible thread guard on our journey to the needle to ensure that the thread is in right pressure, everything is good. So I need to just show some things here. So on here we have the clamp. This is the clamp. Can you see? This is the clamp, and this is the rod. This rod is where the needle stays on, and this is the needle. Do you understand? This is the needle. This is the foot. We call this foot. So it depends on what you're sewing. You can change this foot. This is the regular foot. We have invisible zipper foot. We have gathering foot. We have different kind of foot. So this one is the regular foot. So this is this, how it's together. So eventually, after it enters the last thread guard, I will bring my thread up. How? By using this. We call this flywheel. This is called flywheel. It is this that moves up and down to ensure that the needle is sewing. So this is flywheel. And right on here, at the back here, this controls how the spool pin or bobbin winder, how it goes up and down. So you can check your own if it's there. Because if this remains up permanently, it's fragile. If you are trying to do something, you can just hit it and it will break. So people that produce this machine, they are very thoughtful. So you can either take it in or out. Once you are done sewing, take it back in. That way you protect your machine. Okay. Okay. This part, like I mentioned earlier, if you don't want to use a smaller bobbin to put thread, you can buy all those comb thread, we call it comb thread. So you can buy comb thread. It will be laying on the floor, then the thread will enter here. So comb threads, they are bigger, they have stamina, not tiny like this. So you should have seen that type. So this way your thread is entering the needle. So if you don't want to do the stress of putting the thread on a smaller bobbin, you can actually get a comb thread. So you put the comb thread on the floor and you put it here. So in fact, this machine is perfect in the sense that there are figures, there are figures. This is number on it to tell you this is the first place your thread will go into. This is second place. There's number 3 here, just in case you even didn't understand what I've been saying since morning. So this is number 4. Are we together? Then this is number 5 before it gets here. So, and like I said, it's the same principle for threading all machine. So far the thread passes through the first thread guide. It must of necessity enter the tension disc before it goes into the take-up lever, before it finds its way back into the needle. There are some machines that this particular thread guard will not be there. So far it has entered the tension disc and take-up lever. It can find its way to the needle. Okay, so that's that about that, and I hope that's clear. This one is called stitch regulator. This is called stitch regulator. Okay, you can regulate how tight or how loose you want your stitch to be. There are some that one might indicate tight, and there are some that one might indicate loose. So after you change it from 1 to the last number, you make stitches to know what exactly your one is controlling on your own machine. So you check, you roll and check. Are we together? And this part also, for this particular machine, you can make some level of stitches. The one that is straight indicates a straight stitch. So you can actually use this type of buttonhole. Are we together? So, but you control using these and these. And again, you will have this 2 wire attached to your machine. One of them is the plug. This is the plug, and you can check your own plug area can either be by the side or the back. It depends on the kind of machine you are using. So, but usually it's by the side. So this is the plug. You will attach the plug to this side, and this is the pedal. Some people call it motor. So this is this is what controls the movement of the flywheel. In manual machine, I taught you how to use how to control your leg movement up and down, and with each movement controls the stitches. But in this kind of machine, this is what controls how the machine moves. So instead of learning how to balance your leg, you will learn how to press this. If you apply too much pressure on this, the machine will be moving very fast. But if you apply a very little pressure, you know, it moves slowly. So what you will need to learn is how to balance pressing of this. Okay, so that's that about that. So just learn how to press, balance the pressing, and to make stitches. Every other thing is the same with manual machine. So this part, another thing that you might need help with is how to fix your bobbin. So if your own happens to be this way, just remove the cover, you know, similar to our side disc in the manual machine. And this is the bobbin, and this is the bobbin holder. So it's the same way I taught us in the other class. So you might need to get screw, basic troubleshooting. You need to get a screw to loosen this. Well, there's no issue with the machine, just leave it the way it is. If it's working well, don't bother tampering with it. But if it is not working very well, just look out for where there are screws. Then try and check. This is how I deal with my machine if there's nobody around to help me with anything. Before I loosen, I will check. You know, sometimes I'll make a short video. In fact, I will take pictures to show me how it was before I loosen. So by the time I'm done cleaning, those pictures and videos that I took will help me in fixing it back. Okay, so this one, after you put the thread on it, you just fix it inside. Are we together? Then you bring your thread. You bring your thread into your needle this way. I'll take my time. This one is quite smaller. I'm not using this for anything for now. I just want to use this to explain to you that the principles are the same. This is where the thread is. This is the thread guide. This is the tension disc. Another thread guide. You know, from the tension disc, it goes straight into this, into the take-up lever. Then it goes into another thread guide. Are we together? Then it goes straight into the needle. So can you see that the functions are the same? And if you want to bring up your foot pedal, this is the pedal, yes. So you take this up, it goes up the foot. You bring it down, it goes down. This is the side disc. Then the bobbin is inside. So you can see that all manner of sewing machine is the same principles that controls the usage of all of them. So you just need to sit down and understand one. Once you understand one, you can use the knowledge of one to actually use the others. So this one also, it has two points where the wire are attached. One for the plug, the other one for the motor. All right. So this is your flywheel. So this one is smaller than this anyway, but you can see that the functionalities are the same. So it doesn't matter how big your own is, just watch this class and apply. So if you have any question after watching this, you can just snap your machine and let's get it fixed. So thank you so much for choosing to learn from TCG Fashions. I'm your fashion tutor. My name is Temi. I will see you in the next class. Thank you.